Thanks very much indeed, Dan. I've moved into the warm of the shopping centre. It certainly is slightly more comfortable in here. It's late night shopping here in Southwater in Telford, and this is the busiest time of year for shoppers, of course. In fact, the 5 weeks in the run-up to Christmas is the busiest time for our retailers. And this time last year, we spent nationally £41 billion in the 5 weeks in the lead up to Christmas. Now, the design of places like this, they don't just happen by chance. There are certain tricks that retailers use to entice us to spend more money, as Nicola Beckford reports.
Busiest time of the year already. We're being encouraged to spend.
Retail, part art, part science. It has one objective: to get us to spend.
Put the shoes here at this level, not at the floor where you perhaps expect them to be. So it's prompting, it's suggesting to people, oh, need a pair of shoes to go with that outfit. Eye level is bi-level. So you may have just come in to buy a cushion, but hey, this matches this sofa perfectly. And everything here, so why not have it all? Thank you.
Ros has spent her working life in retail. Now she passes that knowledge to other businesses who want to tempt us into splashing our cash.
Another technique that's used, and you might not be aware of this, but it's called a hotspot. And it's where you position products so that they are picked up, they're prompting purchase.
Product placement, the power of suggestion and surprise all encourage us to buy more.
So here at the top of the escalator we have a prime example of a hotspot.
An item you wouldn't expect to find next to ladies' coats, but at this store, putting the two together has led to exceptional sales. You might not realise it, but retail experts divide us into two types of shopper. The utilitarian shopper, who likes to get in and out quickly, and the hedonic shopper, an entirely different beast.
The hedonic shopper, they are very interested in the shopping process, they like shopping, they enjoy shopping, and they're quite easily persuaded to shop something they possibly haven't thought of at the moment.
And it's those shoppers who are more susceptible to product placement, clever displays and store atmospherics. But getting people to buy is just one challenge. You have to get them through the door in the first place. Last Christmas, a record amount of shopping was done online. A survey by the British Retail Consortium found that almost 1 in 5 non-food items was bought on the internet. So it's not just about the science of shopping. Retailers have to create a real shopping experience to get people to come into their stores. So do customers think these techniques have an impact?
Definitely not. I usually come with a set idea and a set budget. And unless there's something really startling that just think, and it makes an impulse buy, no.
I think the music makes you more relaxed.
I'd like to think not in my case, but you never know really, do you, psychologically?
The countdown to Christmas is well underway, and with retailers spending huge amounts researching our shopping motivations, the question is, how much more will we end up spending this year? Nicola Beckford, BBC Midlands Today, Redditch.
So those are a few tricks of the trade, but to find out a little bit more about how our shopping habits are changing, I'm joined by Dr. Steve McCabe from Birmingham City University, a retail expert. So Steve, it's pretty busy here this evening, so you wouldn't think actually that the number of shoppers on our high street has fallen in the West Midlands 5% over the last 3 months.
No, it's somewhat surprising, and I passed through Birmingham City Centre a couple of hours ago and that was pretty busy, but obviously the big thing is online shopping. That's the big change that we've noticed in the last 5 years.
And how much a part is click and collect playing in all of that?
Well, it's another sort of way, if you like, of sort of getting people to sort of shop online, perhaps sort of draw them into the store to collect in the hope they sort of might buy something on impulse. That's what sort of shops have always done. What they're trying to do, as is the case here in Telford, is to sort of bring them in, keep them here for the evening, in terms of both the sort of the retail and the leisure experience.
So it's not just about coming, doing your shopping and getting out again, is it? It's really changed.
Well, it has. I mean, the idea that sort of people want to come in and touch the goods, but quite clearly if they can go home and get it cheaper, they will do so. So obviously you need to sort of provide other incentives to keep them here.
And is that what people are doing? They're coming in really just for a bit of window shopping, seeing what they fancy and then going and trying and find it at the cheapest price they possibly can?
Well, on a psychological level, we're all social beasts. We like to be amongst other people, so being in amongst the crowds, and anybody who's been to the German market in Birmingham will know there are lots of crowds there. We like to be amongst other people.
And when we've heard in Nicola Beckford's report there some of the tricks that retailers use to entice us to spend more money, but in the design of places like this, are retailers having to be a little bit more savvy in the way that they're setting things out?
Well, obviously, I mean, it's a tale of sort of the upmarket places will all do well, the pound shops and the sort of the budget supermarkets will do well. It's the sort of the middle end, the sort of the, if you like, the Tesco's, they're getting squeezed from both ends. We like a bargain, and of course that's where the internet comes in.
But what impact are places like this having on our high streets? Because these sort of out-of-town centres are being developed more and more. What about the smaller individual retailers? Are they suffering?
Well, obviously, yeah, they have to have sort of something very special to entice us, particularly if you go into city centres where you have to pay parking charges. I mean, I go to Birmingham, Solihull, for instance, and it's £2–3 per hour. So if you can go somewhere that you avoid that, then that's significant.
Yeah, and just briefly, Steve, if you would, how do you see this Christmas faring up? Do you think people are going to be spending?
Well, they are. Of course, Christmas is always the time that we spend, and despite what George may say, I think tough times are ahead.
Steve McCabe, many thanks indeed. Now, if you were listening to Shafali a little bit earlier in the programme, she definitely mentioned snow. And I can tell you, having been outside for an hour this evening, it certainly felt cold enough for it. So let's find out what lies in store with the forecast. Chef.
Thank you very much, Mary. Yes, it's a good job that you're indoors. Yes.